Hey, it's Kelly James, and I want to tell you about a conversation I had just yesterday with someone named Joe. We were sitting at a coffee shop in Henderson, talking real estate. He's been thinking about buying a home, but he looked me dead in the eye and said, "I think I'm just going to wait until interest rates come back down." Totally fair reaction. But I asked if he'd be open to looking at the numbers together, because sometimes waiting feels safe, but it can actually cost you more. So we grabbed some napkins and started running a scenario. Let's say Joe bought today a $675,000 home at a 6.5% interest rate, putting 20% down. The seller agrees to cover 2% in closing costs, which saves him about $13,500 out of pocket. His estimated monthly mortgage payment comes in around $3,413. Now let's say Joe waits, and in a few months, interest rates dip to 5.75%. Sounds better, right? But in that scenario, there are no seller concessions. He's now paying his own closing costs, around $13,500. And to even get the home, he might have to go $5,000 over appraisal in a bidding war. Suddenly, Joe's spending $18,500 more out of pocket just to get into the house. Now, here's where it really clicked for him. That lower rate at 5.75% would drop his monthly payment by about $262. So we took the $18,500 he'd save by buying now and divided it by the $262 a month he'd save by waiting. It would take over 6 years just to break even. And then I asked him, what if we could get the seller to buy down your rate by a full point on top of covering your closing costs? At that point, he just stared at the napkin, took a sip of coffee, and said, "So the real risk isn't the interest rate, it's missing the window while sellers are still handing out incentives." Exactly. That's what I want more buyers to understand. You can change your rate later with a refinance, but you can't undo the price you paid or the cash you gave up just because you waited too long and the market shifted. If you're wondering whether now's the right time, let's sit down like I did with Joe. No pressure, just your numbers, your goals, and a real strategy for today's market. Call or text me at 702-265-4323 or email me at kellyjameslv@gmail.com. Let's run the numbers together before the incentives are gone. And if this video helped shift your perspective, hit like, subscribe, and share it with someone else who needs to hear it.